Hello guys, welcome to Aquatic Hydrographics. In today's video, I will show you how to hydrodip a plastic part right from sanding, hydrodipping and final coat. So we have a Suzuki Access Bluetooth meter cover here. This is a stock brown colored part, and yes, let's just begin with the work. This is the first and most important step, that is scrubbing. We will be scrubbing the part using a Scotch Brite scrub pad. Since this is a brand new part, I am scrubbing it without any detergent. But if it is an used part, I usually prefer scrubbing it with liquid soap so that any contamination is gone. Scrubbing the part without missing any edges, corners is very important. This will ensure that any coat that we spray will stick onto the part properly and no peeling occurs in. Once scrubbing is done, we will wash it with liquid soap and make sure it's completely dried before we move on to the next step. So this is how the part will look after scrubbing. It will look slightly faded, which means that the scrubbing is done properly. And now next step is plastic primer. So we will be coating it with one layer of plastic primer. Since this is a plastic part, we cannot spray primer directly onto it because it won't stick onto the part properly. So this plastic primer will make sure that the part and primer will have a good adherence. So guys, this is my first video that I'm making and I've decided that I'll be posting such videos regularly. So kindly like, follow and subscribe my page Aquatic Hydrographics, and also share it with your circle. Thank you. Once the plastic primer coating is done, we will make sure the part is dry before we move on to the next step, that is primer. Since this part has irregular surface, I'll make sure that the primer is slightly thicker than usual, and I will coat it in two layers so that the primer covers up the irregular surface. I'll tell you why I'm doing this exactly in the next step. Okay, the part is now primered and completely dry, but you can still see some irregularities on the surface. This can show up on the final finish. To make sure that we have a smoother finish, I'll be wet sanding it with the 400 grit sanding paper. Make sure you are sanding it with a very gentle hands, because if you apply a little more pressure, you might rip off the primered coat, and we don't want that. We want only the irregular surface to be gone, and so that we have a smoother finish for our next step, that is base coat. Once done, we will rinse it and make sure it's completely dry. Now you can see that the part has much more smoother surface than I had shown it earlier. I usually don't skip this wet sanding step because this will make sure that the part gets OEM quality finish. So the base coat I'm using here is a Jenny Gray shade. It's a PU base coat. Now we'll spray paint the part with one or two layer of base coat. Make sure the base coat is evenly sprayed. The reason I'm using a gray base coat is because the carbon fiber film that we are using is black in color. So that when we dip the part, the gray base coat and black color from the film combine to give you the actual carbon fiber look. That I'll explain it to you in the next part. Once the base coat is done, we will make sure that the base coat is completely dry before we hydro dip the part. So before that, we will cut the film according to the part size. This is the film, it is black in color. We have the part, it is completely dry now. You can see we have covered the cutouts using masking tape so that the carbon fiber lines are not distorted when we dip the part. Now for hydro dipping, we will place this film on water. We should be careful that there are no air bubbles trapped beneath the film. Even if there are any air bubbles trapped, you can remove it by gently tapping the film by finger or simply blow air from above. We will let this film soak in for about 60 seconds. Usually it takes around 60 seconds or sometimes 90, depends on the weather. I fast forwarded it and I think we are good to go. Now I'll just spray the activator. What this activator will do is that it will melt the alcohol film and make sure that the paint remains suspended over the water. Make sure you do not overspray the activator and you are ready to dip. I'll show you how it's done. So I'll slowly dip the part from the top side. Since this is a complicated part, I'll make sure that the part enters and the top surface is dipped properly. And now I'm slowly turning the part so that the remaining surface also is dipped evenly. Make sure you do this very slowly so that the lines are not distorted. And once dipped, you can slowly move the part underwater so that all the corners are printed properly. Yes, we are done. You can see the print, the dip has come out very nice without any air bubbles. It's just perfect. You can see the cover up we did with masking tape has helped us in getting perfect carbon lines without distortion. So this is how it looks after washing. It is completely dry, it looks matte. So now we'll be spraying it with final gloss coat. For final gloss coat, I'll be using a 2K clear coat. I'll be spraying the part with 2 layers of coat. I'll make sure that after first round of coat, the part rests for about 5 to 10 minutes and then go on for the second layer of coat. This will help us in maintaining the shine, and also if you spray too much clear coat in one go, it might result in lacquer runs. I'll make sure all the edges and corners are coated properly, and after first layer of coating I'll wait for about 10 minutes and then coat it with the second layer. So once the second layer is done, we'll allow it to dry for about 8 to 10 hours. So this is how the part looks. This is not yet dry. I'm just done with the second round. So we'll see how it looks tomorrow. Yes, the part is dry and you can see how clean the dip is, how clean the finish is. It is ready to fit. I'll show it. This is how it looks on the bike. So for more such videos, keep following us, subscribe to our channel, and thank you.